Well, I had gotten acquainted with Reed at the time I was writing my memoir, which is called A Lifetime of Luck and Pluck. And so at that time, I needed a computer person. And I found out from his mother-in-law, who living at Folkestone, that her son-in-law was the one I should call. So that's how I met Reed. And we hit it off, and he helped me so much with my various computer problems that year. So then when we were through with that, he turned to me and said, well, Betty, what are you going to write next? And I paused. Well, not right out now, but I am thinking I've had an idea for many years based on a historical figure that I read about back when I was doing research for the Lake Minnetonka book. And this man was a distinguished Civil War captain and a distinguished attorney in St. Louis, Missouri. And I always have thought this man is just the basis for a story. So that's what I told Reed then, that I thought that this would make a good story of fiction somehow. And he said, could I help you on this project? And I said, knowing that I wanted to make it a murder mystery on Lake Minnetonka. And I right away said, yes, you sure can. Because I knew that Reed was a person of, there's Peggy, was a person of imagination and creativity. So that's how we got connected.
I've always loved writing, the computer. I have a few articles that I've published on totally different topics. And I thought, wow, new experience, chance to do writing of a totally different nature. We had a good partnership. We knew that we could work together well. So I thought, let's do it. Let's go for it.
The protagonist, what would you say to that?
Oh, it's got to be Macy.
Macy, yeah. I created a character named Macy, who's a young 21-year-old, pretty blonde, and she was the bookkeeper for this famous attorney in St. Louis. And they were both, the book begins in St. Louis because she helped start the story, and she's his bookkeeper. So on that particular day, it was 103 degrees in 1899 in St. Louis. So he came rushing back into the office and said, Macy, we're going to get out of this hot country and go up to Minnesota, which is cool country, where I have built a home called North Home and a hotel called the Hotel St. Louis. And now I have another big project to go investigate there. So we're going, and you're invited.
It sounds like, what's the title?
The title is Big Island Remembered. Roller coasters, romance, rage. On Lake Minnetonka.
He wants to know how he came up with that title. I'll take that one. We've been working on the book for, 9 months or so it was well along. We always my wife and I go to Sanibel Island around Thanksgiving every year. And I said to Diane, how about if we invite Betty to join us on Sanibel? Because I knew that Betty and I could work several hours per day while we're in the condo.
And the goal was to get it done by the end of the year.
Oh, yep, we were shooting to get it done, so I knew we'd make a lot of progress. Well, Betty decided to come along, and Diane's mother, my wife's Diane, her mother was with us also. So we sat around the kitchen table and said, all right, folks, let's brainstorm. You all know the story. Let's figure out a title. So we just started brainstorming, and before we thought of adjectives, and before you know it, we had a whole bunch of R words that fit together, and it's kind of historical, so we thought, remembered, so voila. That was last
December.
Thanksgiving.
That was Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
right. But we hadn't been 9 months old by that time. But Reed was, I knew, would be very good at figuring out the plot for this murder, which he was.
He's been plotting a murder for some time.
So
Go ahead.
we had to determine who was the person who was going to get murdered. And I'm not going to tell you that.
Good,
You have to
Betty.
read
I
the book.
was ready to reach over and
I'm not going to tell him.
let me throw in one thing here on with respect to the plot. It's kind of interesting to write a book with somebody else when we're kind of trying to come up with a plot. So we would make some progress and then we'd decide and change it. And before you know it, it was kind of hard to make sense of it all. So I used a technique that we would use in the corporate world for brainstorming and all, and I'd take a sheet of paper and use Post-it notes that kind of capture the main elements. And then if we decide, no, pull that Post-it note off, and then, oh, let's move that up here. So it's easy to move the plot around and figure it out.
Very good. I have to ask you about something. How are you selling the book?
Our book will be sold at Amazon.com. For the paperback copy will be $9.99 only, and the ebook will be $2.99.
And then there's a large print edition on Amazon also.
That's available now?
Yep, it's available now.
Well, because I had this idea about this distinguished attorney, and also because I love reading mysteries, I wanted to do a mystery. And I didn't know how to do it or what, but I've read them practically, for many years of my life. So I thought, well, maybe I could do it. And I found out it was fun writing fiction. I was surprised. But it was fun creating the characters, especially. So.
We found some of the most interesting bits in other books where it's like, Mom, your fans want to know, what's the next book?
I'm getting itchy to get back to architecture, frankly. I miss it.